My name is Larry Batetakan. I'm the founder and executive director of Africa Press International API. One of the main goals of API is to promote journalistic standards in Africa. I would like to ask you this. If you are a journalist and are sent to cover the Ebola crisis in the main affected countries, would you go? I would like you to seriously reflect on this thought.
The World Health Organization Assistant Director General Dr. Bruce Aylward has indicated that the West African Ebola rate is being underreported. Now, he said the reported caseloads in the three most affected countries, Guinea, Liberia and Sierra Leone, inevitably underrepresent the actual number of infections. Now, Dr. Pierrette Mimi Poinsett, a pediatrician in Santa Rosa, California, is also disappointed with the US media's coverage of the Ebola epidemic. Now, she points out that the media reports on the numbers dead, but not on what the needs of the people really affected are, or how the outbreak started.
But why is the Ebola crisis being underreported? The truth is that, understandably, some international reporters are too afraid to go into the main countries affected. Some report from neighboring countries, sometimes on hearsay, without first-hand experience of the social effects of Ebola. They do not report on the orphans left behind, the danger of long-term psychological harm on children due to the traumatic experience and fear of Ebola, of families destroyed, separated, stigmatized, or of businesses ruined and societies destroyed, of schools that have closed and children who can no longer get education. Basically, many reporters do not humanize the Ebola story, and oftentimes their reports lack context.
The fact is, we are in the midst of the worst Ebola outbreak in history, and yet all we hear is the total number of people who have died. But there are people on the ground who can better report on the social effects of Ebola of the suffering citizens. These are the local journalists. They can better help sensitize the population, provide necessary details, and heart-touching human stories of misery, survival, bravery, and sacrifice. But they have a problem. Yes, they lack simple protective equipment that the international media has, but cannot effectively do the job.
8 African journalists have died covering the virus. Without protection and better gadgets, many more are afraid. They need protective gears so that they can minimize the risk and record the effects of Ebola in such a way that we and our children and our children's children would have something to read about and understand for posterity. Ebola is not just about the number of people who have died. It is more. Africa Press International API is asking for your donations to help provide protective equipment and training guides to journalists in the 3 main countries affected. It is double tragedy that those who could provide help or report on the needs of communities do not have proper working tools. Journalists are humans too. Please, kindly donate to help the local journalists fight against Ebola. Thank you.